Yes, it's anything to fucking, yeah.
So sad today that all of our hard work paid off.
The win is a blow to the GOP establishment. Late has the backing of the President Trump. Trump is the target in a new campaign ad, accusing former Vice President of shaming to speak up for his daughter Liz, a congresswoman. He calls Trump a threat to our republic.
He's a coward. Your man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election and he lost the race. I know it. He knows it. And deep down, I think most Republicans know it.
Liz Cheney's fighting for re-election. The GOP primary is in. A CBS News camera happened to catch last evening's lightning near the White House. 4 people were critically injured after a strike in Lafayette Park right nearby. There's now word have died. In Gallup, New Mexico, someone drove a large SUV through a street parade. Police say no one was killed, but several people were hurt. The driver is in custody. Just outside Los Angeles, 6 people were killed when a speeding car ran a red light and plowed into other vehicles at a busy intersection. Deborah Jackson was at a nearby gas station.
I heard a big explosion. Around, the flames just went over everybody.
Among the 8 who were hospitalized, the 40-year-old woman who was driving the speeding car. Concern yesterday at the Mirage Hotel in Las Vegas after a shooting.
We're going in or out at a certain time. When we get an update from Metro, we'll let you guys know.
1 person was killed, 2 injured in the shooting in a guest room. No arrest. At the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota, shoppers fled. They say someone fired shots. No one was found to have been injured, and a suspect is being sought. Well, it seems inflation has turned shoppers into backyard farmers, as we hear from CBS's Janet Shamlian.
When Beth Brown needs groceries, she often does her shopping in her own backyard.
What do you think you're spending on groceries?
Every month, probably $400.
Among what's growing, lettuce, squash, tomatoes, and cantaloupe.
The prices in food have really gone up, so I have been growing a lot more vegetables to kind of keep up with that.
She runs the Central Texas Vegetable Gardeners Facebook group.
Now,
Digging up new ways to save some green. Janet Shamlian, CBS News, Austin.
Time on the roundup, 8 past the hour.
It is 7:08 at the Bay Area's news station KCBS. Expect a lot of sunshine except at the immediate coastline this afternoon. Good morning, I'm Melissa Colross.
I'm Eric Thomas.
Just ahead on KCBS, security guards at a closed elementary school in Oakland. Let's head over to your local Honda dealer's traffic center now for an update on the drive this morning with Kim Wonderly. She begins again in the Los.
Yeah, unfortunately, no better news here yet. Northbound 280 affected by 2 separate approaching Magdalena in Los Altos Hills. All lanes have been shut down. One of those vehicles upside down. That doesn't help. So traffic pretty much at a standstill still, Melissa, but the backup has grown now just a little bit beyond the 85-280 split. You're going to be in stop and go. Will actually stop traffic. So think about using, or if you can get yourself over to Foothill Expressway, that makes a great alternate route to double back to 280 past the scene of this problem. In the meantime, we are looking at a new crash coming in for the Fremont side of the Sunol grade. This is on southbound 680, right off-ramp. It looks like a vehicle may have hit the sound wall. A couple of vehicles involved here. Fire department is just now rolling up to the scene of that issue. San Benito County, just like yesterday, we have this concrete pour that's going on. This is south of Gilroy between Highway 25 and 129. One lane is blocked, one lane is open, and so traffic is just jammed up solid through this area once again. West 80 kind of shaking it off from an earlier problem in Richmond, but West 80 still slow as you make your way down from Barrett to about Gilman and Berkeley. That's where things begin to loosen up. Your next update is at 7:18 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Already seeing blue skies here in the financial district of San Francisco, but along the coast it's foggy, and that's going to persist while the rest of the Bay Area sees mostly sunny conditions. Highs will be in the 60s at the ocean, 70s by the bay, mid-80s inland. Cloudy tonight, breezy at the coast, lows upper 50s there, and 60s around the bay and inland. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
KCBS News Time 7:10. Activists and parents occupying a closed elementary school in East Oakland clashed with security when the school district attempted to retake control of the campus. KCBS's Matt Bigler joins us live from Parker Elementary with more. Matt.
Activists are now on 24-hour security shifts, Melissa, keeping watch for notified employees. This after district security guards arrived on scene yesterday to change the locks in the school and set the alarm, but their attempts to retake the campus from the occupiers turned into a shoving match.
Unfortunately, one of our community members, Max Orozco, who's a candidate in District 2 and a parent in the district, got shoved inside by accident, shoved down to the ground, and got cut in the lip and then handcuffed or detained.
School board candidate Valerie Batchelor tells KCBS ultimately the guards backed off and the activists managed to retake the school. Parker parent Misty Cross says they are taking a stand not only for the school but for the 10 other campuses that the school board has voted to close due to budget cuts. During all of this, or during much of this, I should say, but no arrests were made. In a statement, an OUSD spokesperson says Parker is now closed as a K-8 school, and they continue to demand the protesters find other ways to safely express their concerns. Live in East Oakland, Matt Bigler, KCBS.
Thanks, Matt. Activists trying to stop construction at Berkeley's People's Park, trashed equipment and fencing, prompting a temporary project. Now, as KCBS reporter Holly Kwan tells us live, there's a debate over how police should respond to unruly crowds and acts of vandalism. Good morning, Holly.
Morning, Eric. In 2020, after the murder of George Floyd and the subsequent protests, Berkeley banned the use of tear gas, smoke canisters, and pepper spray by police. But when word out of control and mutual aid was called, Alameda County Sheriff's deputies would show up armed with what Sheriff Greg Ahern telling KCBS.
If you ask us to do crowd control, we're trained to deal with crowd management, and those tools include tear gas. So the city of Berkeley has a problem with agencies responding with tear gas, and I told them, well, if you want us to do crowd control, you're going to have to call the National Guard or someone else that will not be using tear gas.
That prompted a hastily scheduled council meeting to consider a temporary lifting of the city. After words with the sheriff, who assured city leaders that if mutual aid is called, they can help with booking and moving those arrested. They don't have to be in direct contact with protesters. Berkeley Mayor Jesse Arreguín is adamant in his opposition to what he calls tools of warfare.
Given my strong belief that we should not use tear gas, and certainly should not use tear gas at the protests currently in People's Park, I think that would escalate things. I think that would be bad. I think we need to de-escalate the situation. That can't, and that we need to look at other options in terms of how to make sure our city is protected in the event of an emergency.
Protesters have been digging in their heels since the beginning of the week when UC police started clearing out the park ahead of a construction project. Reporting live, Holly Kwan, KCBS.
Thank you, Holly. KCBS News Time 7:14. A win is a win, right? Well, we'll tell you in 1 minute what made the A's latest win so strange.
5X480, Dayton's B100 V-belt, one of the many parts Ranger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob fast approaching. But a quick search on Granger.com and Rob found his part. On the same day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
What you've heard about is probably wrong. I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic. Really work. It's time to learn the truth about probiotics and join the Align Healthy Gut Team Up. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align probiotics for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel. Get $2 off your first Align at alignprobiotics.com.
Coming up on KCBS, their part to save water this summer at Oracle Park.
It is 7:15. We're checking the KCBS Sports Line. Joe Hughes at the Bay Area Chevy Dealer Sports Desk. It is not every day you give up 7 dingers and you don't lose.
Water by not
not playing baseball into October this year. No Bay Area baseball tonight. For both the A's and Giants ahead of the two-game weekend Battle of the Bay. That'll be in Oakland. Teams below 500 on the season, and both seem to be heading in opposite directions. As the Giants continue to slide, the A's look like a team that have actually started to round into form. They are 9-5 since the All-Star break, which is tied with the Orioles for the best record in the American League since that time. And since July 1st, the A's are playing above 500. They're 16-13 after yesterday's bizarre win when they all of them were solo shots, including a pair from reigning MVP Shohei Ohtani. And despite not homering the A's 7-2 in that game, Angels still lost, becoming the sixth team to hit 7 homers in a game and lose. The 7 home runs also tying an MLB record for the most in a game and the most in a loss. As for the Giants, they are a major league worst 3-12 since the All-Star break, and the team has now lost 8 straight games to the rival Dodgers. We saw that frustration boil over a bit yesterday, and a 5-3 loss in the afternoon. Giants skipper Gabe Kapler talking about his ejection and what's going on with his team lately.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, who wouldn't be frustrated? And we're all frustrated. We don't want to play like this.
Well, it's the first time the Giants have lost 4 straight games at home to the Dodgers since 1977. And according to the website Fangraphs, the team now has just a 2% chance to make the postseason. For the sports desk, Joe Hughes, KCBS.
Beth Miller Rowe is the Bay Area's reverse mortgage specialist with over 35 years experience. Beth offers a variety of reverse mortgage programs such as FHA insured home equity conversion mortgage and even jumbo reverse mortgages. Whether you own your home outright or have a loan against it, a reverse mortgage may provide financial freedom to better enjoy your retirement years. Reverse mortgages have changed so much in the last 10 years. Now is the time to call Beth at the Reverse Mortgage Group at 925-969-0380. Is located here in the Bay Area, offering free consultations in a friendly, professional, no-pressure atmosphere. Call Beth at 925-969-0380 or go to callbeth.net. Borrower must pay property taxes, insurance, and HOA dues and live in and maintain the home. NMLS 294-774-185831-612. Licensed under the Department of Business Oversight under CRMLA. Equal Housing Opportunity.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Jewel.
One day I was in a dressing room trying to steal a dress, and I was like, I'm a statistic. I'm homeless, I'm stealing. And I realized if I don't change something, I'm going to end up in jail or dead. And I remember this quote that was attributed to Buddha that said, happiness doesn't depend on who you are or what you have, it depends on what you think. And so I decided to see if I could turn my life around one thought at a time.
More at I'mListening.org. Talk saves lives.
Find your perfect move-in ready home with views at the San Francisco Shipyard today. Condos from 600,000s and townhomes from the low 1 millions, including upgrades. Lock in your rate and call 415-975-4181 today or visit live@sfshipyard.com.
KCBS Traffic and Weather sponsored by the San Francisco Shipyard. We've got good news coming out of the Los Altos Hills, and Kim Wonderly has the details.
Yeah, if you've been stuck on northbound 280, relief is coming. The crash just before you get up to Magdalena has been cleared. It had been blocking all lanes for quite some time. As you know, Melissa, traffic, though, is still backed up. Chilton Out-of-Body Collision Cam sees through the 280-85 interchange as you make your way out from the end. There's still brake lights ahead of you, and then northbound 85 is also congested as you come up from Stevens Creek. So we're starting to see a little bit of recovery at the scene south of Magdalena, but we still are waiting for that ripple effect to stretch all the way back through that. Fremont South 680 near Washington Boulevard. Apparently one of the vehicles burst into flames, so the fire department is now rolling up. This is the Fremont side of the Sunol grade. It looks like that Washington Boulevard off-ramp may be blocked for a while the fire department deals with this issue. In the meantime, we're looking at westbound Interstate 80, pretty much recovered from an early morning motorcycle crash, but still heavy coming down from El Cerrito into Berkeley. Right around Gilman is where things begin to loosen up. Bay Bridge, the toll plaza, or a very short delay from the east parking lot. Earlier crash on the upper deck. Not really much slow traffic left here. It's a little crowded still making your way into San Francisco, though. Your next update, 7:28 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Mancini Sleep World 6-day weather forecast presented by KPIX5's Darren. And Darren, should we just have a weather loop for the next 6 days?
I think you could, because we're really going to lock this pattern in, Eric, for much of that 6-day. Stands out as the day that's different from the day before it. This is where we do the adjustment, whether it's Trump Valley, the Diablo Valley, 680 corridor, North Bay valleys, all of you. It's going to be 10 degrees cooler today. We've got a stronger onshore flow, so it's going to be breezier through the delta and over some of the gaps and passes. Center of high pressure that had been over us is weakening. So those two things together are really going to make for an improvement, and we're scouring out whatever low-level humidity there was around for the last few days if you've been feeling that. Now, if you're in the Bay, temperatures there will range in the mid-70s, and it doesn't get out of the 60s all day, but it's low to mid-80s today for most of our warmest inland valleys. And that's the drill. Yep, next 6 days, just like that. I'm meteorologist Aaron Peck. Forecast.
All right, Darren, thank you very much. By the way, that was the Mancini Sleep World 6-day weather forecast, introducing Sleep Match exclusively at Mancini Sleep World.
Traffic and weather together on the 8th on KCBS. KCBS News Time 7:22. This portion of our by Ring Central, the global leader in cloud communication and collaboration solutions. Well, everybody here in the state's being asked to do more to conserve water amid the ongoing drought, and the San Francisco Giants are no different. KCBS's Kathy Novak reports from Oracle Park that the team is taking some extra steps to cut back on is hallowed ground to many, and maintaining it requires a lot of water.
So we can meter it and measure it, and our goals are to use.
Rick Elliott is Director of Field Operations at Oracle Park, and to conserve water, he's installed sensors in the soil, and he even got his drone license to help identify hotspots. He's also switched to a higher clay concentration in the infield mix.
And you can use your water appropriations appropriately. So, like watering the grass less, watering the warning track, or the infield maybe a little bit more if we need it.
Hear the crunch of it.
Can you feel a difference between this and the warning track?
Among other measures in the stadium, low-flow sinks and toilets.
Even though it seems small, you know, when you have 44,000 people needing to go to the restroom continuously, it adds up. It really does.
It's also about setting an example for all those fans to help everyone think about using less water.
You know, I call this my yard here, but my yard at home is absolutely terrible because I've turned the water off. Imagine being the head groundskeeper for the Giants and having the worst lawn on the in the neighborhood. It's a little bit of pride. You got to eat a little crow once in a while, but I think it's the right thing to do.
At Oracle, we know that KCBS.
The city of San Francisco is seeing a lot more tourists from Europe than Asia so far this summer. Quite a switch from before the pandemic, when Asian tourists substantially outnumbered Europeans. International flight data showing during the summer of 2019, nearly 455,000 visitors from Asia landed at SFO, while around 359,000 European countries arrived during the same time period. But the most recent numbers covering travel this past June showed 53,000 travelers from Asia and more than 73,000 from Europe.
We are on to the Money Watch now on KCBS with Jason Brooks. He's got news of a blockbuster for the economy. Hang on one second, Jason, while I dial you up. Typical of me. Make sure we've got the right channel here. Look, there you are.
Oh, it's the news you want to wait for, though. No problems there at all. Double takes from economists and investors after the government reported a much stronger than expected gain of 520 jobs in July, reversing the recent trend of weakening gains and indicating that the economy may not be in a recession despite 2 straight quarters of negative GDP. The economy now back to pre-pandemic employment levels, getting back to 22 million jobs that were lost in the first few months of the pandemic. The unemployment rate dipped to while the labor force participation rate remained steady. Stock market took a quick dump. Will mean the Federal Reserve will continue down its path of hiking interest rates to cool off inflation. However, the market is cutting into those losses considerably now. Dow only down by 26 points. NASDAQ lower by 3. S&P down by 2. A trio of San Francisco-based companies are impressing investors with their earnings results, with shares popping for Yelp, DoorDash, and Lyft. Lyft up nearly 20%, Yelp up 14%, and DoorDash up by 7%. On the Money Watch, Jason Brooks, KCBS.
You may not know it, but the equity in your home